Hello, witches. It is Nightshade Moon here. It's chilly and rainy today, and it's early in the morning, but I wanted to come on and make a little video because I'm finding more and more, at least people that I know personally, like in my mundane life, if you want to call it that. I just been finding this happening a lot here and there throughout my life and while I've been on this path, but I really wanted to talk a little bit about protecting yourself as a witch. And most if not all of us are very psychically in tuned. Our intuition's pretty finely tuned. You know we we just emit this light to the spirit world that to a random person walking on the street. Obviously, we're not like walking around like this bright old light, but to the spirits, it's like we're this bright light in the dark, and they're in the dark, and they're like moths. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And they're like drawn to our light. Excuse me. My throat's been itching like crazy. But we're this light, and they're in the dark, and they're like it's almost like the spirits are like moths, and they're drawn to our light. So a lot of times I find with myself where, spirits are trying to get me to notice them, or they want to communicate. So they're like, hey, 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 do you hear me? Can you see me? I know you can see me. I know you can hear me. Are you there? I want to talk to you. I want to tell you something. Da-da-da-da-da. And they're just like, you know what I mean? Constantly in your ears. And, I've come across a few friends of mine who they they've been studying and sort of practicing for a while, or they don't even, these are other friends of mine that they don't even practice, but they're just their intuition and their third eye and stuff is open, but they're not, either they don't really know, like they don't know what they're doing, to the point where like you need to take precautions. You need to protect yourself, and set these boundaries, you know so that anything and everything can't like come through and attach itself to you, if that makes sense. So, and like also that goes hand in hand with being an empath. Like, you can't walk around and just absorb all this energy that you're feeling all over the place from whoever and whatever, and then hold on to it. Like, you're gonna make yourself sick physically, you know what I mean? Maybe mentally sick, I don't know. But it's just like, you have to like daily ground and center yourself, and even multiple times a day. Honestly, I mean, I know if there's something bothering me, and I'm like dwelling on it, like a feeling or anything, like, and I can't like shake it, get it off my out of my head, whatever. Like, I'll just sit there and do a white light, red light, inhale, exhale, like grounding and centering visualization, like mini meditation, if you want to call it that, just to like clear that out. And then, like, within a minute or so, I'm like fine. You know what I mean? But like, some, I know quite a few people that they just don't, they absorb everything they feel and they hold it, and then, or they don't like protect themselves from anything and everything attaching themselves to them, like whether it's any kind of negative energies, any kind of like negative spirits, whatever you want to say. And it's just like, that is like a really huge important thing, being an empath, being intuitive, psychic, being a witch. You have to like, you have to protect yourself. You have to, because our light in the dark with our gifts is going to be a lot stronger than most people. You know what I mean? Because of our magic and what we do, and we're constantly like vibrating this energy out there because of our magic and all that. If that makes any sense, this is just like what I feel that I need to say. But I wanted to talk about that more, like, you know, so if you're, I guess if you're a new witch, or if you're just, you don't really know how to protect yourself from these things. If you're any kind of empath, or, any kind of psychic intuitive, and like, you didn't know anything about this before, if you've never heard of like, protecting yourself, please do some research on it. It's, you don't want to, and it sounds cliche, but like Silver Ravenwolf, she's writes a lot of Wiccan and pagan books and stuff. She said it perfectly. Like, don't ever conjure up what you can't put down. And that makes a lot of sense. Like, don't put your energy out there and put your psychic feelers out there. If you can't make something go away that you're not going to want, like, attached to you. So, but it's important to, like, envision a circle around you with the bright white light. Um casting a circle, saging, you know, wear some protective jewelry, make some yourself, use some hematite to help keep you grounded, use some black tourmaline for protection, maybe put some clear quartz on there and stuff like that. Like, it's just, I can't stress enough how important it is to take these precautions. Like, you really don't want to screw yourself up in a sense, and you will. After a while, it might not happen at first, but you never know what can come through, and you really got to watch what you're doing, especially if you're not sure what you're doing. So, you know, envision white light, sage. There's many books that can give you inspiration and give you guidelines on how to, like, come up with something yourself to, protect you, protect your, if you live with your parents and your room is your sacred space, you can, protect that room. You can protect your yard, your house, your whole property, like above, below, and all around your entire property, so that everything, your vehicles and your house and everything's included in there. And it's important to keep up with these things, whether it's a daily basis, on a monthly basis, weekly basis. I try to do a weekly basis when I'm, putting up the boundaries around my yard and my, house and all, and, setting up everything so that, certain things can't come through, and, like, everything's protected, spiritually. Um, I try to keep up with it every week. Now, I can definitely tell that if I forget, if a week goes by and I forget, that I can definitely tell that it needs to be done, because once you open that door to those spirits that you're, like, not spirits, but, like, to those entities that you're using to protect your yard and protect your property. Once you open yourself up to that, like, you can feel it. So, like, if I forget, you know, I start to feel a certain type of way. Like, they're like, hello, hey, did you forget about us? You got some shiz to do. You know what I mean? Like, so, but, like, another thing too, if you believe in, everybody has guardian angels and or spirit guides that guide you through life, and they're with you throughout your life. And I do know that sometimes, this is totally back to the original topic, I'm sorry. So, sometimes people have, multiple guardian angels, multiple spirit guides, and, sometimes they change up throughout someone's life, where, like, you'll be with, say, from the time you're born until you're, like, I don't know, 25 or something, whatever, just for an example. You'll have the same spirit guides, but whatever transition you might be going through, say, at 25 or anything else, you might need, different spirit guides to come and guide you from then on. So then the ones you originally had will go off, and, they'll be guiding someone else or do whatever they got to do in the astral world and the spirit world. And then, you'll have different ones. But my thing is that if you're meditating, if you're going to your little sacred space in your meditation, everybody, like, it's like your little garden that you go and you just chill during your meditation. One, you build this space in your head, this visualization, to look like whatever you want it to look like. Whether it's a garden, a big waterfall, you're sitting at the foot of a waterfall, whatever. Um, and this is, like, totally a rambling video, so I'm just going to apologize for that right now. But it's just something I needed to, like, talk about. So, nothing, whatever you visualize this place to look like, it should not change any time you go in there. And if it does, that means that there's going to be a big change in your life. Like, something's going to change in your mundane world, But also, when you're in this space, there should not be anybody in there with you. There should be no entities, there should be no other people, not even family members that have passed on. And the only time anybody should be in there with you is if they're your spirit guides. If you guys don't know who your spirit guides are, definitely work on doing some guided meditations. There's a lot of meditation videos on YouTube. Do some meditations where you can reach out and find out who your spirit guides are and like start working a relationship with them. But there should not be anybody in that little meditative, like Zen area that you create, like in your mind. And then, like, what talking about spirit guides now with mine is that if someone's trying to come through and, a spirit is trying to come through and talk to you, my thing is like, I have my spirit guides screen these spirits before they get to me. So my spirit guides ask these spirits that want to talk to me. They ask these spirits like one question 4 times. The question is, are you here for Ashley's greatest good and highest advancement? That's what they ask these spirits 4 times. They ask the same question, that question. They need to get 4 yeses. So every time that question is answered, these spirits need to say yes. If there's any no's in there, then they cannot come through and speak to me. They will not be allowed to speak to me. They need to go away. And that's that. And they do go away. Like, once I learned this probably, oh my god, like maybe 13 years ago when I first started taking psychic classes. My mom and I used to take psychic classes. So this is one of the things that, they recommend to help you protect yourself. So definitely, if you're meditating and other spirits or anything that's coming through that you're not sure who they are, it's not your spirit guides, not your guardian angels, whatever you want to call them, you can ask them yourself. Are you here for my greatest good and my highest advancement? Okay, so they say yes. Then you ask 3 more times. If you get a yes every time, then you can go ahead and communicate. They have some messages for you or whatever the case may be. Cool. But again, if they say no anytime, they need to leave. And you make them. Like, it's they need to go. You need to be assertive, put your foot down. You know what I mean? And if you're feeling like you're having trouble getting these spirits to leave you alone, sorry, my ear itches. Ask your spirit guides. They will help you. That's what they're there for. They're here to help you spiritually and guide you throughout your life, but in the spiritual realm, Excuse me. So, I don't know. I've been rambling. Sorry, I've been rambling. And I actually said my real name on YouTube. What? I know some of you follow me on Facebook know my real name, but I don't think I've ever said it on any of my videos. But hey, I'm Ashley. What's up? So, coffee. It's early as hell. And Gage is still asleep. So exciting. So anyway, I just really wanted to get on here and talk about that. I'm sure there's a lot of videos that, actually like will walk you through step by step how to protect yourself. And I've done a few here and there. I always add protections throughout my home with sachet bags. I add protection stuff into my witch balls that I make that I'm hanging around. I add protection into, my floor washes and stuff like that. Certain incense scents I like to empower with protection. So, it all depends on what you want to do, what you feel comfortable doing. Wearing quartz crystals will help protect you, is what I believe. Black tourmaline, I believe, is very protective. Hematite is good for grounding and centering, stuff like that. So, you can't I can't say you can't. I just don't agree with, you just blindly wandering in between the spiritual world and the mundane world and not protecting yourself. So, do yourself a favor, take care of yourself, make sure you're protected, make sure your spirit guides are on board with helping you, and of course they already are, but, just to get that communication going between the two of you, you spirit guides and yourself is like a great thing. It's good to have a relationship with them, to talk to them often, honor them, stuff like that. So, just be careful. You know what I mean? Be careful of your light that you're shining out there because, you may not be aware of how strong it is or, what your, my knuckles need to crack. So you may not be aware of, what could be lurking like in the spirit world following you around. You could be walking around with a black cloud hanging over your head and that's not a good feeling. So anyway, I feel like I'm done rambling. So, if you guys want to see any like other videos of like maybe some like protection stuff or protection work that I do, comment if you want. And I appreciate all you guys watching. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and yeah, I'm done rambling. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.